Hi, this is Joe's Corner 76. I'll be commenting on issues that affect the human condition. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Joe's Corner 76. You can hear me on Breaker, Spotify, Google Podcast, Anchor FM, and YouTube at Joe's Corner 76. I'd love to hear from you. To change the human condition, we need to be engaged. We're in an age of mass consumerism. The motto seems to be, I don't want much, I just want more of everything. It got me wondering about consumerism and what effects it has on us. What does it mean? Consumerism is a social and economic system that encourages us to buy goods and services in ever increasing amounts. This leads to wants and desires for these things to increase. Consumerism is an idea that thrives on social values, fashion, status, and images. We affirm our identity by comparing ourselves with others in order to establish an identity. How did mass consumerism come about? Well, prior to the 1950s, people made do with less. Things weren't discarded. If they were broke, they were repaired. Not everyone had a lot of clothes, shoes, entertainment, venues, or access to easy credit. You made do with what you had and only replaced things when absolutely necessary. Things were built to last. The Second World War brought a strong need to conserve natural resources for the war effort. This led to a scarcity of resources. Governments launched a massive campaign urging citizens to conserve, recycle, grow their own food, and to share. As a result, frugality became the new norm. In the 50s, factories that we used to produce arms became idle. People needed to be employed. The government wanted to end the public's conservation efforts and get them to consume. We were on the path to mass consumption. What would make mass consumption become an ongoing thing? To get mass consumption really going, we needed to find ways to get people to consume. We had to have consumption become a way of life. The buying of goods and services had to become a ritual. Shopping as an occupation everybody took in. We needed to get our spiritual satisfactions and egos satisfied with consumption. To keep consumption going, we needed things consumed, burned up, worn out, and replaced and discarded at an ever increasing pace. What role did advertising play in this? It started simply enough with offering a growing number of conveniences for housewives in the 50s. Then a car for everyone. The race was on to convince the public that they had to keep up with the Joneses. You needed to have the latest model, the most current styles, and cosmetics that would make you beautiful. Advertisers entice you with clever promotions and attractive spokesmen who kept pushing that they had a better product. What was the result of advertising on consumption? The factories were kept busy, but in order to keep them going, there needed to be a constant flow of new products. The idea of built-in obsolescence came about. Was this enough to keep mass consumption going? People wanted to have the latest things now. They didn't want to pay for it when they'd saved enough money to buy it. No problem. Consumer credit was created to fuel consumption. You now had instant gratification. With anything that is easy, you can abuse it. And people did. In Canada, household debt is 170% of disposable income. Every Canadian owes $1.70 for every dollar they earn after taxes. You have to wonder if this is sustainable. How are we affected by consumption? Just a few things that I found interesting. Everybody says they're concerned about the environment and climate change, but we all keep buying gas-guzzling pickup trucks. These purchases save General Motors and Ford. Two-income households to pay for more and more cheap imported goods. The disappearance of good-paying manufacturing jobs. The mountain of garbage created by the amount of packaging used and the electronic waste. Plastics that are everywhere in our environment. Canadians waste 873 pounds of food each year, plus the energy and water used to produce it. Let's look at Spaceship Earth. We have nowhere else to go and no other sources of materials to be used for consumption. Instant communication has made everyone aware of what the rich countries have. The poor countries want the same goods, food, and other luxuries we have. They're working overtime to get them. This takes a tremendous amount of energy and resources, and it's a great contributor to climate change. They don't seem to want to stop, and neither do we. It seems at some point that the system will collapse. We're seeing it now with climate change, pollution, and armed conflict. Are we any happier with more? I don't think so. When we look at the mental health crisis we have, the income disparity in our society, an increase in violence, the storage lockers we build to store goods we don't really need. There's a spiritual void in society that goods and envy of what others have can't be filled by consumerism. I don't think wanting more of everything is the answer to a happy life. Do you? Will mass consumerism lead to mass destruction? Let me know what you think about this.